Hey everyone, Sheriff Brent Kilburg here. It's late May in 2024, and we obviously thought we'd be in the jail by now, but unfortunately we're not quite there yet, but it is coming along pretty nicely, wrapping up the final details and things like that. So we're told basically we might be in here training in late June and possibly occupying in July. So at this point, we're just kind of at the mercy of getting it all wrapped up and done. So that's where we're at. But I wanted to give you guys a glimpse as to what we've got going on right now. Anyway, so this is the front office where the staff will work. To my south, outside through that window, is the front lobby where the public would walk in, and the staff will greet them at the window. So this is where the two office staff workers will work essentially, and we'll have filing cabinets and different things in here, and workstations that we don't have here yet. So to my right here is the front lobby where you would come in and we would allow someone to come back into here. To my rear is kind of a little side lobby that allows for more privacy, or if someone has children or something like that, or needs to be interviewed by DHS or co-responders or something like that, we'll use this kind of separate little small lobby area for that. If somebody needs to be interviewed and they have children, we might have them in there and have some books and toys and things like that. And then as I come down the hallway, these are just separate offices for the administration. To my right here, as I come down, is the front office where the staff works that will greet the public at the front window there. So they will occupy this area. I've already talked about that. And here's another side office that we may use for a civil deputy or some other function. So as we move along down the hallway here, to my left is the evidence room. This is where all the evidence that comes in will get put in these temporary secure lockers, and then the evidence technician will go into that room and take those out on the inside there and then place them in their proper storage in there once they've been processed in. Okay, so this is the Emergency Operations Center. We'll use this for if we have major incidents. It will kind of be like a briefing location, or whereas we have other county, state, federal agencies coming in, we could use it as a large briefing center. It's also intended to be used for formal school type setting trainings that we're going to put on and have going throughout the year. And you know, it's also can be used kind of as a backup if we ever have a disaster come, you know, a tornado or something, to where our dispatch center gets taken out or whatever, and we need to operate out of another location. We're setting it up to where we could also use it as kind of a jump to location for dispatch to run emergency operations out of there yet. So now I'm currently standing in the booking area. The detainees would come into the garage area out there, which we call that Sally Port. And they come in here, that door would be closed. The officer and the detainee would come to this window. The booking officers would ask them questions, receive some property underneath the window here and stuff, and just make sure everything's okay before they bring them into the booking area. If they're too rambunctious, out of line, they may actually go into what we call the holding cell there, which is a padded facility. It's just a square room off to the booking area. You can access it from either side there. But if they're reasonable, then they can come in here. The deputies would do or the jailers would do their booking process here at the countertop. And then they would probably more than likely go into one of these holding cells around the booking area until they are seen by the judge either later that day or the next day. And then if they get held for some reason, or if their charges are worthy of them being held in the jail, then they would actually come down here, and that's the next place we'll take you into and show you that as we go through these doors and go into the jail. So now that we've entered the jail, the detainee has been decided to be held for more time by the judge or the magistrate. So we bring them into the jail then. Off to my right is one of the holding cells here, or one of the pods as we would call it. And that's this would be the general population pod. Off to my left would be a special status cell, which is if somebody, say somebody was positive for COVID, we would put them in there because that has negative air pressure sucking that oxygen to the outside world instead of spreading it throughout the facility. So, and as we come down the hallway then here, one of the next doors is the control center to all the jail, where somebody will electronically control all the doors and all the access in and out of the pods and the cells. So as we go further down the hallway, we come to another one of those pods, and this is going to be like the medium maximum pod, which with that medium and maximum type prisoners can be held in there. So same deal, holds about 12 people. There's an upper level and a lower level. Each one of them holds 6. Some of the cells are 2 bunk cells and some are individual cells, and that'd be for the maximum status prisoners that are in those individual cells. Okay. So this will be considered a max cell. There's 1 bunk in there, so because they're in a max status, there's issues with them that you don't want to roommate with them. There's problems. And then next to me here on my left is a medium cell where there's a bunk bed set up in there. 2 prisoners can be in there. They're not issues. They get along. You know, there's no problems with them. So we combine them into a cell like this, and we have 2 of each of those on this ground floor in this pod, in the medium maximum pod. Then of course, we've got our stair railing going upstairs, and we have the same setup at the top level. So 2 individual beds on the outside is the maximum cells, and then the 2 inner cells have 2 bunk beds in them for having the medium type classed inmates in there. So. Okay, so now we're in that upper level, or what we call the mezzanine in the medium max cell. It's a mirror image of what's downstairs. 2 individual cells on the outside and 2 multi-person cells on the inside that hold 2 each. So 6 down with 2, 4, 5, and 6. 6 down and 6 up. So this entire pod will hold 12 people. So in here you'll notice there's a double bunk bed in there. So that again is where the medium prisoners would stay in there. So this is the recreation yard for them. As you can see, there isn't going to be any physical fitness equipment in here or anything. It's just a requirement that we have a space available for them to walk around, do some cardio exercise, more so than in their restricted cell because of the other things that are going to be in the way, like tables and stuff like that. And there's a requirement to give them fresh air and let them see daylight. So that's a roll-up door that rolls up. Behind it's going to be a chain link fence that won't allow stuff to pass through it. But that's basically, this is to simulate them being out in an exercise yard in like a prison or a bigger facility. But as you see it, without of course the construction equipment in it, it's going to be as plain Jane as possible. So thanks for joining us on this brief little tour of the new facility. I want to say thanks to the community for believing in this and making this happen. It's going to make our community safer and more efficient in the long run. Over the last few years, we've probably spent approximately $100,000 in housing inmates out, and we should no longer have to do that with the new facility. And then I guess conversely to that, we should be able to house inmates in for other counties that hopefully will generate some revenue to help our taxpayers pay for this facility. So I apologize for the condition of the facility. It was a little messy yet. In the future, we'll probably do another one of these when it's complete, and we plan on doing like an open house for the public as well. So we hope to see you in the near future, and hope you come on down and take a tour through it. So thank you. God bless.